Welcome back to Crypto ATI. Harry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. It really does help with the algorithm. Now let's get into this. We're sitting at $3.06, trading within a range of 297 to 308. We held that 280 support line really well, and now we seem to be holding above that $3 line. We'll have to see where it goes from here, but it looks very positive. Now let's jump down the old rabbit hole like I like to. The SBF files, FTX, CIA, and the great crypto cover-up. The true story behind the collapse that shook crypto and why Ripple XRP walked away untouched. Real references, real breadcrumbs, no fluff. Let's check it out. In November of 2022, FTX collapsed overnight. Billions vanished, politicians panicked, and the media spun a fraudster genius narrative. But behind the scenes, something much deeper was unfolding. A controlled demolition of a corrupt crypto empire. FTX wasn't just a crypto exchange. It was a political slush fund, an offshore money router, and possibly an intelligence front. Over 70 million in political donations, billions sent to Ukraine, close ties to the SEC and MIT, and zero real oversight. Let's go deeper. Meet the players. Sam Bankman-Fried, MIT political mega donor. Caroline Ellison, Alameda CEO, daughter of MIT economist who worked for the Fed and Treasury. And that little pipsqueak Gary Gensler, SEC chair, MIT colleague, and SBF's father. This was a closed loop of elite academia, finance, and regulators. Now consider this. US sent military aid to Ukraine. Ukraine used FTX to convert crypto donations, and FTX routed funds through Alameda. Alameda lost billions, media silence. That's not a coincidence. That's plausible deniability. And when it all collapsed, Tether markets trembled. Binance was accused of exposure. Circle's USDC was quietly bailed out by SVB, and Coinbase stock tanked. But one company stood untouched in the rubble, Ripple. No loss, no exposure. While other firms were subpoenaed, Ripple was being invited to testify before Congress, as if they were never part of the shadow system at all. They weren't caught because they weren't in it. Ripple's CTO even said this publicly. We had zero exposure to FTX, not a single dollar. Meanwhile, Tether couldn't prove reserves, Binance froze withdrawals, and SBF played League of Legends. Caroline vanished and Ripple kept building. So ask yourself, was FTX an isolated fraud or a cleansing operation to reset the crypto landscape? One where the most compromised players were sacrificed, while the most compliant bank-aligned survivors rose. Consider what followed post-collapse. SEC lost momentum versus Ripple. Ripple's lawyers gained public support. IMF and BIS began talking about neutral bridge assets. Banks began testing Ripple for CBDC frameworks. The war on crypto barely scratched Ripple. Now we see the next phase emerging. Tether under renewed scrutiny, Coinbase sued, Binance shrinking in U.S. markets, Circle pivoting into regulated zones, XRP declared not a security, 2023 ruling. Ripple's testing real-world CBDCs, and now, just yesterday, the SEC officially announced crypto staking isn't a security when done properly, a major reversal. The tide is turning, the cleanup is nearing completion, and the new financial rails, they look a lot like what Ripple built. FTX was never just a fraud, it was a trap. A scandal, a purge. And Ripple, they walked out clean because they were never in the swamp. Don't fall for the headlines, all the survivors. Comment down below and tell me what you think about this. I was actually invested in Voyager and had quite a bit of money on that exchange during the 2022 collapse and FTX collapse. And even Voyager went bankrupt because of the Three Arrows Capital mess. Trump says he got debanked. Trump says JP Morgan, Bank of America, discriminated against him, asking him to close his accounts and rejecting $1+ billion in deposits. Now, an executive order targeting debanking is coming. I hope they get them because that's some bullshit if you ask me. They should not be picking winners and losers, and you should not be debanking people over their political policies or their religious beliefs. They are trying to stop what is coming from Ripple and XRP, but they don't know yet that they will never succeed. The future financial system has already been decided, and XRP is here to stay. Now let's talk about the financial reset and why it hasn't been made public yet. Tokenized asset readiness. Institutions are still onboarding digital asset custody. Interoperability layers like Quant and Ripple are in compliance rails. The legal framework is not ready. The Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and ISO 222 enforcement mechanisms are still rolling out globally. Global reset timing. Full disclosure would signal to markets that the fiat system is ending. This is still under stage collapse protocols. Behavioral conditioning. Public isn't ready for the shock that assets like XRP could equal gold in future sovereign banking models. Controlled narrative lock. Legacy media, BIS, IMF, and WEF maintain silence until the orchestration phase flips. Projected public disclosure timeline. Q3 2025. Phase 1. Soft disclosure and progress leaks. Symbolic alignment charts. Influencers discussing already happening in your current X threads. From Q4 2025 to Q2 2026. Phase 2. Institutional banking began publicly pairing tokens to metals via pending Clarity Act and tokenization. Examples: gold-backed stablecoins, CBDCs. Q3 2026 to Q2 2027. Phase 3. Full public major institutional announce metal-backed digital assets, black swan or liquidity flip triggers. Disclosure as part of the new monetary architecture event. New financial infrastructure. XRP, interbank liquidity, IMF/CB tier, SWIFT replacement. XLM, retail remittances, low friction bridge asset. XDC, infrastructure grade, trade finance, tokenized supply chains. Algo, smart contract elite layers, SEG ready and low energy. HBAR, government grade, ISO layers for ESG, oracles in compliance. Quant, interoperability kingmaker, bridges all networks, the overledger. IOTA, Internet of Things microinfrastructure. Industrial use, rare systems mesh. Flare, interoperability DeFi data rail, smart contract integration. ZBCN, utility grid, commodity-based sovereign micro token. Now comment down below and tell me if you guys believe in the financial reset. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think they're collapsing our US dollar because it's ran its course? They do say that most reserve currencies only last, I believe, like 96 years. And I think we're around 104 now. Let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about Ripple's escrow and why it was created. It was created to protect the price of XRP. The escrow system was explicitly designed to prevent large XRP releases that could trigger steep price declines and to ensure a steady and measured supply over time. This mechanism is intended to ensure that a large number of XRP will not enter the market at one time and lead to substantial reduction in the price of XRP. Ripple is also not free to sell the escrowed XRP at will, as it is cryptographically locked and released only through pre-programmed monthly contracts. This adds further certainty around the future supply of XRP. They did this to protect XRP, people. A lot of people say it's centralized because of the escrow and whatnot. The XRP ledger is decentralized, and they lock this escrow up in order to protect XRP and Ripple's future. And here's some breaking news. Ripple is buying Toronto-based stablecoin payments firm Rail for $200 million in a bid to bolster RLUSD's ecosystem. I have to say, with all these acquisitions that Ripple's making, Hidden Road, Medico, Standard Chartered, this stablecoin payments firm Rail, they're making moves and they're ready for the new financial system. And last up, from Ondo Finance, another company is joining the Global Markets Alliance, welcoming Loopscale Labs to the Global Markets Alliance. Loopscale is building modular, order-based lending that supports a wide range of on-chain assets, from crypto-native tokens to tokenized assets. As the alliance works to align standards for how real-world assets like stocks and ETFs move on-chain, Loopscale adds to the growing network of teams building the infrastructure to support them. Like I say every day, the institutions are here, friends. The institutions are here. Well, that's what I have for you, folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.